Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. We're on to episode 78. As I told you, I've got a wee bit of time off until the next shot number, but it's the big one today. And as you can see, with our fancy new toys, it's two cameras. Look, the press.
We're up in the world.
Hi, Kieran. He's a wave. Hi, me. Hey, brilliant.
So that who wants to be a millionaire before the fastest finger?
No, exactly. So as you can see, we've went full out. We're trying to bring you the best possible content we can before Derby Day, and hopefully now that we are masters of all technology, we can start doing more 4-person shows if this works out the way that it's meant to. So let me just get into the nitty gritty. Let me introduce my brilliant stars beside me today. Starting with the man to my right, Ryan McGinley. Ryan, how you doing, son, ahead of Derby Day?
Get the battle fever on, mate. I'm buzzing. Absolutely buzzing for this game. We're recording this on Friday. It needs to just come round now, man. I don't want to wish my weekend away. I hate doing that, but
Saturday's
it's going to be killer. I'm going out tomorrow just to
brave.
Because I won't be able to sleep.
Fair enough. So you just got to stay up.
I'll try and sleep in between, maybe get 4 or 5 hours, but we'll see how it goes.
And then at the other side of the table, we have two brilliant stars as well. Kieran Auld, you're back. You were off last week because you were struck down by the COVID.
What a fucking ready, man.
How's your recovery been?
Very quick.
It's like one of the. I wish we got like one of the photos of you, like, you know how like you're lying in your bed and you get a photo and it'd be like, you have to be a sick man to enjoy the downfall. Like, you're just lying. But how are you actually doing, son?
I know, fine, but fucking looking forward to Sunday. But as we can say, that is a case of wishing your weekend away, because I will not be going out tomorrow night.
No,
because fuck that. I'm absolute no chance. I'll be rough. That's what happening.
Rough is not unusual, to be fair.
I know. Everybody's going to be accustomed to it on this podcast. But I mean, one thing I will not do is make myself rough at a Celtic Rangers game again. Been there, done that. Bought the t-shirt.
When did we do that? Like, what game was that?
We beat them 2-1 March 2019.
Right.
It was Stephen's birthday.
The Forest winner.
Oh,
we were at that mad Airbnb the night before.
Yeah, right. It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me. I feel old. Cheers for that. And then finally, across from me, the wonderful Callum Craig. How are you doing, son?
Not too bad. I think just the same as everybody else at the table, just sort of hoping tomorrow flies by and we're right into Sunday.
Nah, I'm sure that we're all hoping to get clipped as much as possible today.
Absolutely.
Let's see how many times. You're straight. Why are you shaking your head?
I hope I'm not getting fucking
Look, listen, it could be a good clip. It could be a clip with the Sellik fans. You could be saying something funny.
Let's be honest, it's never a good clip, is it? You never get clipped for something good.
My Martindale comments, I thought they were alright.
That was a good comment, and it was fair.
It was fair. It was justified,
yeah,
to say the least. Anyway, enough talking about clips, enough trying to jinx us and all the rest. Do you know what the weirdest part about all this is? It's staring across the table for you. I feel like it's like quite romantic or something.
When you're doing that with your finger, it's
it's going to take a wee bit of getting used to. We've not done this in a while, but let's just get cracking with the knacking, as some would say. You're looking at me like
who's the son that would say that apart from you?
Ross the Cultaholic, he says that, doesn't he? Let's get cracking with the knacking.
Which
I don't know.
Right, let's move on. Let's get this show on the road. Celtic versus Rangers League Cup final. The last time that happened, it of course was a very nervy affair. It wasn't a fun watch. Kieran, we sat beside each other that day. It was probably the most kind of it was the least enjoyable game we've probably had to sit through together. I guess we're hoping that it's nothing like that on Sunday.
I don't think I've got enough years left in me for another final like that. That took a good decade off me. I could not. I actually punished myself the night and watched the highlights back. We were dug beat in that game. Fraser Forster had probably a better game than he did against Barcelona in that game of his career. But really, we can't be putting a performance like that again, because we won't get that lucky again.
I think that's the good thing now, is we don't need to worry about a performance like that. I think, those days are hopefully gone. Listen, we can't underestimate the opponent. We're going to talk about everything, the opponents, us. We're going to try and analyse every aspect of this game. But I think that those days are gone, Ryan. I think that we now head into Hampden in a position under Ange. And listen, we've been lucky that the last 5 to 6 years at Hampden has already been good enough. But we certainly don't have to have that animosity that would have maybe been there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think that was maybe down to the manager we had at the time as well. He would maybe let the occasion get the better of him. Because he was a player, he's got that bias, a Celtic fan as well. Ange doesn't have that bias. He was saying that in his comments earlier on in the week, that he doesn't get involved, he doesn't get too high or too low with these sorts of things. He's quite calm about the whole situation. And we've got a plan, we'll have a plan going into this game. We just play our game and hopefully we get the result that we need and we want.
I mean, Callum, we couldn't be going in on better form. We battered Aberdeen last week. We battered St Mirren the week prior. And we've been no bad against Rangers since the introduction of Ange Postecoglou. This is the chance to fight and defend the trophy we won last season. Just your thoughts in general heading into it.
I think the one thing I'm sort of glad with the team overall is we've not had the likes of Fashion Sakala and such come out and making making a situation for herself more than anything, because I think as soon as sort of kick-off comes, his sort of first few touches of the ball, it's just going to be the full Celtic end on his back. And you would like to think that even, I think, is Ange or the players speaking tomorrow at all? Do we know? If it's just any wee bits.
I think it's Saturday off, I'm pretty sure. But did you?
No, I seen Hamish say something about Carter Vickers. Like,
they sent all the Carter Vickers and Callum McGregor were both speaking today. We actually have clips to use for the podcast, well, so we might shove them up through the day tomorrow or whatever. But your point, Callum,
I know, just with that end, so I'm quite glad that the players have kept quiet, just kept their heads down, kept training and looking forward to the occasion.
And that's the thing, we've left us, we're in a good position right now, in a position that you could argue we are favourites, whether you like it or not. You don't want to big yourself up. We are the favourites. We're 9 points clear. We have been better than Rangers when we've played them head to head since Ange Postecoglou has arrived. We should be calling ourselves the favourites, Ryan. But do you think that adds a pressure for us going into Sunday?
There's always going to be pressure, I think, in this fixture, regardless of the form that you come into. I mean, you can say it goes down to form in some ways. You're hoping that it goes to form, because in that case, Celtic will come away with the win, because we've been trailblazing, we've been bulldozing teams on our way here, both in the Cup, apart from maybe the game against Kilmarnock. But in the league, we've been imperialists. If that's even a word, I remember somebody pulled me up last time.
That's fine, you can make up a word, mate.
Do you know what? It sounds good, so I'm going to keep it in. No, you're hoping that form does come to it, because I know the two teams are even, but it's the way that we are playing. We're coasting through games, and I think they've had a couple of results that could be conceived as lucky. I mean, the Aberdeen one, they get 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, but I'm pretty confident going into it. Hopefully, if we play our game, we play the way that we know we can play, we don't let the occasion get ahead of us ourselves, then I think we'll be alright.
I think we'll be more than alright, as long as...
I'm confident, but I'm always sort of confident.
As long as we turn up and do what we do best, and here, there's no really need to worry. It's just about now gauging the opposition. We'll come in to talk about them a bit more, but that's the difference between now and maybe this time last year, even when we were still figuring things out and we had to get that big derby game out of the way. Now we can head into these games knowing, right, if we just turn up and we do what we do, we should be winning these games.
I mean, it's not... I feel a lot of people might be getting ahead of themselves. It's like, if we just turn up, we're going to win. But it is about every player in the park putting in the best they can. But as you said, compared to games last season, you're going into these games thinking, if these players play at the best of their ability, then it should be ours. Whereas going into the games beforehand, we were the team chasing them. Whereas, as we've very rightly said, we're the favourites going into it. We're 9 points clear. We don't really want to appear big it up as and get fucking jinxing, but at the same time you can't deny the facts. We're 9 points ahead of them in the league, so going into this, we are the ones that are getting chased here, and I think it's a more comfortable position to be in. But then the pressure is also on us. I mean, you've got the whole thing with the pressures on Beale to get this trophy after all, and all the Rangers players after all the talking they've done that week. So
that's what I was going to say though. I was going to bring up the point, surely Beale has got some amount of pressure on him as well going into this game, because obviously the fans were getting on his back, if you remember rightly.
Still are.
So they're still getting on his back about that. The results haven't exactly. Well, they've been more convincing as times have gone on, but he's obviously been bigging him up something rotten as well. Talking about us all the time.
The results have been good, but the performances have been a wee bit concerning. I've watched them 3 or 4 times. It's not... You know, when you're watching a Celtic game, you know exactly how we are going to play. I just don't see Rangers' style coming into play. Maybe that'll come in the future.
I know
he's a new manager.
It's like it's early doors, isn't it? To be fair, like I think that they do deserve the credit where it's due. You know, he has come in. They've ultimately turned around the results. They're unbeaten. They deserve a bit of credit for that. But I don't think you could argue with the point that you've just made in the sense they don't really have a distinct style.
I think they rely more on individuals, whereas the system for Celtic, I would say, is the most important. It doesn't matter who plays. You know what style of football we're going to play. They're very much tailored towards individuals. Tillman, Kent, etc, etc.
Well, let's talk about the opposition a wee bit. Let's get into talking about them because I feel like that's probably one of the biggest parts of the show. Callum, where in this Rangers team do you feel the most? I mean, if there's any... I see you kind of smirking your face here because me personally, I'm not all that frightened from what they have at the minute, but I think you can sit down and honestly say, right, there's players that we need to watch.
No, definitely. I mean, if obviously they are to get the players back that are said to be out injured, I think Tillman obviously has been a big point for them sort of the second half of the season, especially since Beale came in. You have noticed he's been the main man for them. The likes of, I've not really seen much of Raskin, so I can't really comment on him. I think again it's because his comments earlier in the week, he's saying, we'll be showing that we are the better team, the part that we deserve to be winning it. But again, I've not seen enough him to comment, and same with Cantwell as well. It's not really much going.
I think they've got him down as the best midfielder in the league after a few games, so I'm interested to see what that's like at the weekend.
If he was so good, he wouldn't have ran his contract down at Standard Liège. Surely a bigger team would have came in and got him.
But see, this is the thing I was thinking, like, you know, is this just another typical example of, you know, them dying to like chase us and using every sort of wee thing that they can, like Raskin's automatically the best midfielder in the league and we're no that good. That seems to be the go-to. Is we're not that good.
No, but the narrative this season has been that they've got the better players around the pitch and we're shite. I mean, I don't know where that exactly has came from, to be honest. I mean, it reminds me of like the COVID season when they went unbeaten. I'm sitting trying to convince myself fucking god awful.
I'm not that good. I'm not that fucking good.
Please drop points.
Even I can look back on that and just think it was a pure denial thing. Like, and I think that's what's happened now. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I've never seen. I know it's a cup final week and it's a big rivalry in it. But have you ever seen this level of like shite talking in the media? Like, and
I think the media have been an absolute
no, but I mean,
disgrace.
like, not even like just the papers, but I mean, like the Rangers players and the management, like pandering to the fucking weirdos and their support that get a hard on for a 3-piece suit.
See, the thing that's obviously been massive this week was Sakala referring to us as the other mob. Honestly, doesn't bother me. Don't care. If anything, if Kyogo was to come out and say that, I'd probably be fucking laughing. I'd probably be like, oh, you go, wee man, fair enough. But it is things like that, and I'm not saying that annoys me before any Rangers fans start thinking that Sakala's winding me up. But there's things, as you said, the pandering. I feel like there's been all sorts of it. Like, we've seen Beale, we've seen, obviously, the past few weeks saying things.
We're not exactly immune. I mean, last season, Yakimakis did kind of run his mouth a wee bit before the game, but he fucking backed it up. So, I mean, it's down to the players now to... I mean, a fair few of them have been out in the media getting at the big ones, so, I mean... They're going to show up on Sunday. They've made an absolute arse of themselves.
I hope Ryan Kent's giving him a wee word talking about disrespect, since he seemed to bring that up when Yakimakis said it last season.
Was it Ryan Jack?
Was it Ryan? Do you know what I meant to say Ryan Jack, then I said Ryan Kent.
He couldn't even fucking look. He was staring at the ground, and that's
we'll do our talking on
Give me on that note.
I missed that. You want to do that again? I was like,
look at me when I'm talking.
on that note, please give me more Ryan Jack tears at full time, please.
Look, this is what I mean though. Like, you know, they can bang Ryan Jack banging on about disrespect last year, and you've just raised the exact point. So why and that's, I think, been the biggest difference between, or one of the biggest differences between Celtic and Rangers since Ange came in. I feel like we've just oozed. I kind of. I'm not going to say what the, you know, they're switching up time. No, none of that. But I feel like we've kind of done our talking on the pitch and kind of like just got on with things. We've won our trophies. We've the blah blah blah. Whereas Rangers and Rangers supporters have been kind of trying to live this dream of like, we're still on par with Celtic.
Do you not think it might be down to like the change of manager? Because I mean, Gio was quite a quiet sort of character. He wasn't exactly properly running his mouth and that. Whereas Bale's came in and I don't know, it just seems like typical English arrogance for me. I mean, that sounds quite xenophobic from my part. I mean, like, I don't think it's that outlandish to say, to be honest, because
I get that.
Like, you've seen like players, like, I'm not saying it's in the same level like Joey Barton coming up here, but like,
Right.
I feel like some players and managers and that have came up here and like played to the crowd with the media and things like that. I feel like that might have been happening. I think it's sort of emanating onto the fans, onto the players to start acting this way.
Aye.
I just think it's like a lead by example sort of thing, and I think that's probably what's happening.
Fair. Did you have something to say there, Ryan?
I think he just lacks a lot of class, Michael Beale. I think he needs
It's
some,
funny
I think
how
he needs some media training.
It was funny seeing them sitting beside each other this week, wasn't it?
Oh.
Like that was. I mean,
That's it. The tie's already lost because Ange wasn't wearing a tie, which is absolutely mental.
analysing the kind of the body language, and the clothes. And
It's
See if you read into that,
And
man.
the game's going to be even tougher. 2 goals down. Fucking that goal to Rangers for Bale in the shit.
I was kind of hoping that Andrew would have said something just like, so I'm lucky, like just like kind
He's
of
bigger
cold
than
as,
that.
but I know he is, isn't he? He is bigger than that.
I don't know, maybe we are used to the sort of professionalism that Ange brings maybe 2 seasons in now. Doesn't really get involved. He's had a couple of wee lucky digs,
Aye.
but it's just because he kept on running his mouth, Michael.
If Lennon was in charge, it would be a fucking him and Alan McCoy's 2.0 on the sideline.
I was going to say I would have paid good money for to see that with like Lennon and Gerrard at the time, like for them sitting beside each other. I think that could have been a good laugh, but we missed that opportunity. Sadly.
We just don't entertain that anymore, which is absolutely brilliant. I'd much rather we do our talking on the pitch than off it. I mean,
I can't
the
like
guy,
any fight.
no, but the guy that was saying, "Oh, we're better than Rangers and we'll show it." He's away. He's out the door now. He was running his mouth. Maybe he ran his mouth a wee bit too much, and Ange didn't like that.
Yeah.
So you saying that, you would have loved that Ange to just pull his chair away, wouldn't he? And he walks by, just to sit down.
Hooray!
Just a wee joke.
That would be quite funny to be fair. We were sadly interrupted there by buzzing, and we wanted to make sure by buzzing.
Buzz about this place.
We wanted to make sure that you have the best viewing experience and listening experience possible. So please appreciate that. Right, we've spoken about Michael Beale and kind of in depth. I don't think we need to discuss him much further. Kieran, let's just kind of dive into the importance of us winning this cup, please, because Ange has dismissed all talk of trebles so far, and I think that's obviously the smart thing to do. You've got to beat Rangers first, then you've got to beat Hearts, then obviously you've got to secure your league title. But this was the trophy that kick-started our season last year. It was Ange's first trophy, and to kind of lay that marker down and go for the first step of like a potential sweep is huge. So just general, how much do you want to win this game? If you can put it into like a very blunt Kieran Aldesk statement.
See, that's a lot of pressure to throw on a man right there. Could have prepared one earlier, for fuck's sake.
Came out with your sheets.
But I mean, I think it's like, it's weird because in the past like 5-6 seasons the final's been played before Christmas, and I felt like that really was a sort of like laid down the marker. I mean, it is obviously still the first trophy up for grabs, so that's no changed, but I think like getting it before Christmas last season gave us that wee push, and I think at this point now it's closer to the proper business end of the season. So I think it's always been the case of like every manager we've had has spoke about how good it is to win the first trophy of the season, get that under your belt, the confidence it gives you for a title race. Like, it's got to be unmatched, but especially because it's against them on Sunday, like we really can't.
I feel like you've not really got into it, and maybe we'll save it, how passionately, like you keep putting in the chat how much you want to beat them for specific reasons.
Oh, right,
I feel like you've not quite got there yet.
I know.
Give us the right answer, Kieran. Come on, you're nearly there.
Fucking.
What was the word you used earlier again? Dirty what? Sorry.
No on camera. Right?
Phil's got the record right on right now.
Phil, where
He's
is it?
hovering over it
Phil,
now.
how you doing, Phil?
Phil Smith.
Maybe you can save that for towards the end of our conversation. But Cam, I'll come to you for a moment here. Obviously, you're the only one out of the four of us who isn't got to ignore that in.
Sadly.
You look sad as I said that there.
tell
My
me.
bad. The camera wasn't even pointing at the time. But like, you know, just in general, like how just feelings about winning the trophy and carrying on from there.
I think it's everything, especially as Kieran said, see that momentum boost it gives you, especially towards, and like now we're in the second half of the season. I think if we were to see us walk away with the silverware, I think we could maybe see a couple of points slipping across the city.
That was going to be a question I was going to ask. I think I've seen a lot of people in my comment section say beat them in this final, they collapse. I don't know if I'd maybe use as strong a word as collapse, but do you see something like that happening?
And as you said, not as much a collapse, but it could see like a couple of points sort of swinging back towards our way. And again, I think that's ultimately when you can start to maybe realistically say, right, is that a double at that point? But I think get Sunday out of the way first, then we can start talking about doubles and trebles.
Start talking about quantities at that point, Ryan.
I'd love a treble. I wanted that at the start of the season. That was my aim.
It's kind of the natural progression from a double last year to a treble this year.
It annoyed me that we didn't get the treble last season. It would have been perfect, but it's it was something to aim for after the first season. We had it was a double. We did cherish the double because of where we were the season before. Yes, I know we won the quadruple treble in that season, but in terms of that season on its own, we won nothing. So to go back and get to get a double was absolutely brilliant. I just want Ange to get a treble. I'm desperate for it, and it'd be a great sort of platform to go for the rest of the season if we were to get the trophy now. Usually we've got it in December. You play it, but I mean, what are we, end of February? That'll just steer us on for the rest of the season, and then hopefully we can do our business in the Scottish Cup. But I'm just hoping that Ange gets his treble. I'd absolutely love that, but we've got to win this one first, and we've got to tie up the league.
I'm not going to start going on about anything past Sunday, to be honest. I mean, as Ange said, he put it perfectly, like, with every player, it seems like a cliche at this point about taking it one game at a time, but you really can't look too far forward, because I mean, even going into that semi-final against Rangers last season, I'm like, everybody was thinking about a treble then, and we got fucking beat, and that just put an end to that, so it kind of dampened it a wee bit. But obviously, for where we were last season, I mean, it is just about taking it this time, but I'm buzzing for Sunday, if I'm being honest. I feel like we don't really spoke about how actual buzzing after the final.
I was going to actually ask us a question, like on a scale to 1 to 10, how buzzing are we?
See, buzzing for the occasion, but I just know I'm going to feel physically sick for the 90 minutes.
And that's why you drink heavily.
So I don't know if I can see it.
I always feel worse after the drink as well. Like, I'm buzzing, but at the same time,
I don't know if I agree. I think I get more cocky when I have a drink in me, to be honest.
See, I get that. Maybe that's before the game. Then when I see the stadium and you see their fans, you're like, shit's real.
The drink helps, but I mean, you're looking at a man that put £20 on a Patrick Clement hat-trick minutes before the game. We got beat 2-0.
He's not the only one, right? You're saying wow. I think I encouraged the Patrick Clement hat-trick club.
He even scored 3 goals for us. Like, all in.
Don't be disrespectful.
Where does he play now? Do you know?
He moved to where did he end up?
He went to New York Red Bulls, but then he went to
Israel.
Israel.
He's right.
Played the team.
Hapoel Beersheva.
What's wrong with Israel?
What?
In terms of it, well.
Palestine the Thunder.
That's getting fucking clipped. I just meant more the footballing league. To me,
you got a great affiliation with the footballing side.
Great affiliation with Israel. Anyway, let's move on before we get cancelled.
There's Phil again. That red button's getting some amount of use, man.
Let's get on to team predictions and such, because we've not really spoke about players, individuals, yada yada yada, because I think the team prediction
I think there's two areas.
There's two areas that could be up for discussion. So Callum, take it away. In goals.
Hart. Has to be done it.
It's just no Benji now.
Nah. I mean, something might have happened to Hart today, we don't know.
I mean, imagine like something came out like ridiculous, like Joe Hart is
half the squad's out.
Oh mate, no, right. Behave, right? We're not
just started it.
You've been keeping up to date with this Benjamin Siegrist Australian nonsense as well. He's got a girlfriend. He met his current girlfriend on that Sydney Super Cup.
I thought you were going to say like Plenty of Fish Sydney or something.
And this was an actual story in one of the tabloids she's sending him nudes for good luck.
For the game?
Aye. Or for any games.
What's her
She's like an Australian influencer. I think they met on Hinge or something. He must have turned his location settings on.
It's not how it goes down the beach in TikTok, is it?
Don't know.
She's banging, man. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
No, she's good, man.
Right, so you've really narrowed it down. You've really narrowed it down here. An Australian.
I just didn't even get to capture the
an Australian that goes to the beach. You've really narrowed it down. There's only 2 or 3 people.
I really
do
know
that
what I'm talking about. It's my famous TikToker. And if you've not seen the one recently, it was a big fat guy, and he's like, "You're not impressing anybody."
Too old for TikTok.
Oh wait, is it that video?
Aye, the bird and he's like, "Eat a cheeseburger."
Aye, like the Mad Incel versus.
Aye. Her, she's nice, man. She's nice.
Alright.
Benji's done well for himself. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm just laughing at Keel's face. Anyway, right, we got carried away talking
Right,
about
Joe
bench
Hart
secrets.
We?
Fucking.
You're like that 50 Cent.
Just don't like hitting it with his faces where I've not got the camera on you, mate. Like, just wait,
Right.
tell me you're going to make a face.
Aye, Joe Hart goes.
Right, Joe Hart and goals, right. Kieran Old, right back.
Johnson.
Easy.
EG.
Okay.
Okay. His initials.
Centre back number 1, McGinley.
Carter Vickers.
Carter Vickers, and centre back number 2, Carl Starfield. I'm assuming
Absolutely.
we're all agreeing on Starfield. Now, this is one thing that we've no spoke about, and I see you raise your eyebrows, Kieran. I'm not going to suggest Kobayashi before we start thinking. So, the Ange curveball. It's happened.
I feel there's always one.
There's always one. Last game it was Forest. The game before that there was.
Maybe we've lied and said there's always one.
Maybe we've lied.
It feels like there's always one.
It does feel like there's always one. I feel like there's always like. And could that be the likes of Kobayashi this weekend?
No.
Nah.
Okay, I'm glad you've
Just shut up.
So we're going CCV and Carl Starfield as our 2. Callum, back to you, left back.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Picks itself.
It's this madness at the back. Like I've never thought we'd get to a point in our existence where the back four at Celtic becomes so easy to pick.
Great, I know.
Oh, it's fantastic, honestly, especially for a cup semi-final. Like,
And-
just having confidence in a back four is great.
What I would say is, arguably Taylor, for the system that we play, he's the most important player in the back
Yeah.
four for getting that system sorted because of his movements into midfield. He's arguably been player of the year for me so far.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. And he scored last time we played them at Hampden. You forget about that?
yeah.
I'll take another one this weekend.
Right, I'm going to take a different approach for asking these the centre midfielders. I'm assuming that we're all going McGregor Hatate as a definite 2.
Yep.
Is the curveball of water? Is it too early for him?
Well, I'll come to your number 3 in a moment because I think that the obvious is Hatate and McGregor. McGregor for obvious reasons, but Kieran Hatate's just kind of undroppable at the minute.
Yeah.
He's on fire. The form that boy's on is. You've seen, I think, in this pre-season games, I think he's took it up a level this season, and then he's just got better and better and better. I mean, after he's had a lightning start to his career at Celtic, and then it kind of. He got a wee bit of criticism, maybe fatigue and that, but that was when he was just after playing a full season in Japan and then coming in to finish after the season with Celtic. But now he's had the pre-season under his belt, he's been absolutely unreal. Like, just on the boys, I mean, a lot of people have been waxing lyrical about him this week, and I think it's been even a step too far in saying like he's one of the most exciting players we've seen at Celtic in a long time. Like, he's just so silky on the ball, his range of passing, and he can chip in with goals. So I think he's just a threat that you can't afford to have on the bench. And I think he is somebody that's surely got to strike fear into every team in Scotland,
Including Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Although apparently Raskin's better. Yeah.
Remember, what was it? Lundstrom pushed him last year.
Oh,
as well.
of course. Aye, that's right. And
That
then,
picture always comes up and Hatate looks like such a boss in that pitch, just pushing him away.
I know, exactly. But it's Big Bad Lundstrom, it's Big Bad John. As they call
Is
him.
he
The man who
with that?
stares.
Or does he shot himself for this game?
He could have maybe. Like, literally shat himself. Geriatric ward, shit his pants. Done, finished.
Fucking hell, right.
What?
Just you, mate.
What do you mean, just me? He's laughing. That's the aim, mate. He's laughing at it.
Oh,
This is the
Christ.
one, innit? This is the one. This is the podcast.
This is the podcast.
This is the finale.
Right, I'm going to come to your third centre midfielders, but don't give me any explanation, don't give me anything yet. Don't think, just speak. Who's joining those 2 in the midfield? Ryan McGinley,
O'Reilly.
Cam Craig,
Aaron Moy.
Aaron Boy, Kieran Old, O'Reilly. I'm also Matt O'Reilly. So
I think I would not be opposed to either, but I think the midfield looks different.
right, okay. I want to come to Callum first though, because you've went different. You've went Moy. Why Moy?
I think it's more, as the game progresses on, I would much rather bring O'Reilly off the bench as opposed to bringing Aaron Moy off the bench. I think it's because the energy that O'Reilly brings you. We've seen it in the St Mirren game. Finally, obviously getting himself that goal, but see getting himself into those positions in and around the edge of the box and what he actually get on the ball. I think if you're running against a tired team and if you're still looking for a goal, I think he's your man that's more likely to influence it a bit in a change.
I think that's a fair estimation. I was about to say it's not the word I'm looking for. It's a fair.
We make up words in this podcast.
What's the
That's
word
what
I'm looking
happens.
for? I'm looking for a word that it's just escaped me. A fair.
Estimation. Yeah.
It's not an estimation, mate. That's the word that you was rang.
Fair.
It's a fair judgment, Callum. So we'll go with a fair
Yeah.
judgment. Do you get that, Kieran? Could you see the sense in that? Because I do.
I think there's arguments to be made for both.
Aye.
Like, I mean, because you could say about Adam Moy being on for the start and controlling the pace and then bringing on O'Reilly, but then you also want to start quick with O'Reilly, Hatate, McGregor, and McGregor can be the deeper player. So I don't know. I think I don't think your team's not going to change with it. Obviously, you've got like the sort of try to play mind games. Or we're going to say who's playing before, like for the Rangers side. It's not going to change your lineup the slightest.
Nah.
Yep.
Not in the slightest. It is just up to us to field our best team, and I think it's a good headache to have that we're having these debates. Finally, we've got so many options in midfield. I mean, I feel like it's been a while in the past. We've had like positions where fuck, who's actually starting this game? But now we've actually got the choice of two excellent players, but I think bring different things to the game, and it's just how we're going to play on the day. So I do think O'Reilly is going to start though. Just looking at previous games, he started at Ibrox, didn't he?
Yes. He did.
Moy came on, had out a hand in the equaliser. So I feel like, I don't know. I think O'Reilly's I don't know if he's, I would say my definite pick, but I think that's who is starting.
Right, okay.
I think a lot of people will have that Ibrox game in their head and just automatically assume that Moy is going to play. But if you watch the way that O'Reilly's played the past 2-3 games, I think it's 2 games in particular, you can see last season O'Reilly surely but surely coming back.
Got the goal he wanted as well.
You've seen the relief coming on.
We spoke about that in the last episode, didn't we? That was literally one of the talking points in the last episode about like, you know, the kind of his shoulders and his kind of just his reaction.
It's the way he walks as well. He is lanky.
He knows that he wants the goal and he needed the goal.
I think we've got to take the chance and play O'Reilly because I think there's a breakout game coming. It could be this one. This could be the game that he just cements himself. That argument gets completely finalised and O'Reilly is the number one. I could see it happening. He's been threatening it the past couple of games. This could be the game. I would start him. And Moy's such a great player to bring off the bench because it'd be a leveller. Yes, he doesn't have pace, but the players he'd be coming on against, they'll all be tired. They'll be 60, 70, 80 minutes in. You also want a player like Aaron Moy in for extra time as well to give you that wee bit of magic.
Let's fucking hope it doesn't get to that.
and God help us if it happens, but penalties. You want Aaron Moy taking a penalty?
True.
I think that is enough. Fair point, to be honest.
I've never even considered that once. To be honest, I've not wanted to consider penalties.
Nah.
No, but it is a real thing. It very much could happen.
It is a threat. You've got to think about it. I think everybody's.
I think that's maybe the reason why O'Reilly will play then.
Yeah.
If Moy's there.
We've all raised good point. I like Callum's point. I like your point. I like Kieran's points. The other thing I was thinking of purely was because Moy was out the squad last week. You know, kind of skipped that.
What was the reasoning for that?
I think he just a knock. Wasn't it? Just a kind of pre-game.
See, do you not think it's kind of went under the radar, like, because O'Reilly's not been getting the goals this season about his assists? Because
I know,
it's a phenomenal amount of assists.
Both talented players, and I think we're lucky to have any of them started, to be honest, at the weekend, so we'll see what happens. But 3 for O'Reilly, 1 for Moy. Okay, the front three is obviously where I think the other talking points do fall. We may as well cut to the chase and say we've all got Kyogo starting, because why would he not be starting, to be honest? I hope this is like his big derby game. I know he's got his goal, but I want that. I want that.
I want
Larson
League Cup final for last year's performance.
Yum yum.
One thing I will say about Kyogo, they're going to test his shoulder early on. There is going to be a shoulder challenge in the first 5 minutes. They're going to test that shoulder because they've done it in the game at Celtic Park.
Yep. And remember Boyd was on the telly asking why they'd been testing McGregor's face, mind. Why are they not fucking testing McGregor's broken cheekbones? Like, fuck off, Chris, you fat dick.
Absolutely.
That's me, lost my job at Sky. See, Chris. Anyway, let's get to the talking points then. Left wing, right wing. Once again, I'm going to go in the same format and ask you for your 2 wingers. Don't think, just speak. Tell me who they are. Ryan, I started with you last time, so I'll start with Kieran and go the other way. Kieran, your 2 wingers.
Jota and Maeda.
Cool. Callum.
Jota Maeda.
Ryan.
Same.
So we're all Jota and Maeda. All 4 of us are Jota and Maeda.
It's an incredible point that we've got to, that we all consider Maeda undroppable now. Look at where he was 3-4 months ago after that Shakhtar Donetsk game at home. The turnaround, he's used the World Cup as a platform to get better and better. The improvements he's made in the last 4 months, I think he's absolutely undroppable. I think he gets in the team faster than Jota does. Wow. And that
fair. I can't really disagree.
I think he's so important.
He's
so important to the way we play. He is the human embodiment. I've said this a couple of times. He's the human embodiment of Angeball because he doesn't stop. He's just that perfect.
None of them
for him.
stopped, to be fair, did they?
Yeah.
Cam, I seen you nodding away in agreement with Ryan. Why Maida specifically? Is the prospect of him versus Tavernier just too good to be true, almost? He had a good game at Ibrox as well.
100% he did, but I think it's also going the opposite way, because we've seen Maida track back countless times. So if Rangers do get those wee spells where they do have possession for like 10, 15 minutes, and we do need the players coming back, we've seen Maida's more than happy to work himself back, take it and then drive right up at the end of the park.
I think that Maida is just going to be so important to the opening exchanges of the game. You know, we get the ball out to him, run at Tavernier, because Kieran, we've seen the Rangers fullbacks in the last few games struggle on both sides. Barisic, Tavernier, whoever else has been made to play in these positions, they've struggled, and Maida's just got all the talents we need to make them struggle.
I mean, I think on the point of Maida about like how fast he is at the traps and that, but see, just really think of the past 2 games against him, we've scored in the first 10 minutes in both games.
Aye.
So like, we've been the team that's came flying at the traps while Rangers try and put us on the back foot to try and stop us doing it, because the past 2 times they've not been able to weather the storm. I feel like that's it's something that's happened in the past. Even as last season we struggled to weather the storm against them at Ibrox when Aaron Ramsey scored. So I think they're going to try and put us on the back foot, and I think, as Cam said, with Maeda helping to track back with his pace, and even on the breakaway, I think that's something. I'm not saying Abada's not rapid either, but I just don't think you can match the engine that Maeda's got. He's like the wee Duracell bunny. He just constant air at a big hand pitch. Like, he's got to be chasing everything down, and I think that's what you need.
Aye. I think they were just in such a good position, because obviously you've got Haksabanovic as well, you've got obviously Abada we've touched on, you know, we're once again we're just no short of options, right?
James Forrest.
I suppose James Forrest as well.
I don't even think he'll be on the bench at the weekend.
Okay.
I don't honestly think James Forrest will make the bench in this game.
Well, I mean, how many subs did you get? 7, didn't you? 7 places in the bench.
Well, you're going to put Hacks in, you're going to put Abada in, you're going to put Owen, sub goalkeeper, midfielders, defenders. There's no place for Forrest there, unfortunately, and he started 7 weeks ago. 7 weeks?
That's fucking sickening, isn't it? 7 weeks ago.
I know.
Where's the time gone?
I don't know, man. I had a weekend after it, but
And I'm sure they're all shocked.
Cause the cure, mate. Cause the cure.
Not a weekend after.
It's not slight against James Forrest, but I think that was maybe showing where we were at that point. I don't think it gets talked enough that there was a virus going about that camp at that point in time.
Yeah.
You look at Jota was away with it, and he was still important in the equalising goal.
he was
No
a big part in that.
No excuses now. Everybody's in tip-top form. Let's go get it.
So, to kind of wrap up our team discussions, I'll just kind of have a round table here and get kind of final comments. Callum, yourself, and just in terms of the team general, your confidence of that 11, any kind of final closing thoughts on the 11?
Yeah, no, it's just simple. Go out and win.
Go out and win.
As simple as
That's
that.
the team talk, innit? Go out and fucking win. Kieran?
Get out the bastards for the get-go.
Nice. 9.
Give them absolute hell on that pitch. Hopefully it's a decent pitch as well, the Hampden pitch. It's looking alright.
Right. Your team talk taking a bit longer.
Sorry, just get into them.
Mine's just Benji Secret shows the scuds. That's mine.
Wow, man.
Kieran, that's your
Show me the money.
Kieran's face in this episode.
Fucking this is. I know it's your channel, man. Jesus Christ.
It's not a fact. Well, come on now. It's a tabloid story. There's nothing to even say it's true.
Turn this into a fucking tabloid podcast.
I apologise for all my actions, sincerely. Thoroughly. Sorry. Right, let's finish it off with score predictions, and then we can kind of move on to the next couple of segments in the show before I get fucking lifted or something. So, Ryan, your score prediction?
3-1 Celtic.
3-1 Celtic is exactly. But have you been watching like my videos through the week or something?
No, I've only watched the one I was in.
Who the fuck watches your videos?
Well, I just think that's
Don't be disrespectful.
I seen that screensaver come on the laptop. I thought you just ended it all air.
But just to clarify, like as soon as Kieran said that, like you know, when you're like, it's just
No, it was perfect timing.
It was absolutely. I actually thought it just all cut off and I shit myself. To be honest, but it's just you, Kieran. You annoy me, mate.
Fucking ditto, mate.
Right, yours predictions go. Me and him are 3-1. You're 2-0.
2-0 Celtic. I can't be dealing with a fucking Rangers goal.
Right, okay.
Can't be dealing with it.
So they're not allowed it.
No.
Callum.
2-1 Celtic.
2-1 Celtic. So none of us, interestingly, have got an extra time nor penalties, which is good.
Oh,
Don't
fucking
if
hell.
having it.
Nah.
Fuck that, man.
I mean, if it does go to extra time and penalties, what I will say is very quickly, not to spark another 10-minute conversation, I'm more confident of our ability now to go through extra time and be better than what we were last April.
See, even last April, like, we really didn't have any excuse to be that.
No, we never had any excuses.
Rangers are playing midweek.
No, absolutely, I agree with you 100%. But I just feel like since then we've got a lot better as well. All the Japanese players who obviously were just settling in and kind of played so much football. I think we're just in a better position to deal with that. Should it be the outcome, but hopefully not.
I think the one thing that I would say, just with regard going back to Hatate, I'm still waiting on that performance at Hampden for Hatate. I think the League Cup semi, was it the League Cup semi? Not the Scottish Cup semi against Rangers. He didn't have the greatest game, and then I thought he was quite quiet. I know he did score, but it was given offside for VAR. I'm waiting on that breakout performance, maybe for O'Reilly as well, you could say. So now's the time, but fingers crossed we get it done.
Okie dokie then. That kind of wraps it up then for the chat in relation.
I was going to make and I can't remember.
Oh, fuck off, man. It's time to get on to the half-time quiz. I think we're about, if I just quickly check the run time, I think we're about 40 minutes in to the show. So the half-time quiz is basically the full-time quiz, but we'll have our Twitter questions and then we'll wrap up with a final quiz. So we'll get into a half-time quiz. Ryan McGinley, don't be looking at my laptop, mate, because you're sat right beside me. So who won the thing? You won the quiz last week, Cam, didn't you?
Aye.
A big win for Cam. How are you feeling after
Shooting
that?
blanks that
Oh, honestly, mate, it's the best feeling ever.
Best friend, did they compliment you in work?
No, my mum finally let me in house.
So Cam, I'm going to let you play the half-time quiz, and the winner of this quiz will take on whoever doesn't take part in this quiz. That's a lot of quizzes I've used there. Here in the old, heads or tails, you weren't here last week.
Heads.
Heads being the upside of this wonderful SD card. So you're going heads. Okay, right. It's heads. So Ryan, you'll be playing in the final quiz of the episode. It's Callum Craig versus Kieran Auld. Give us a wee face off.
It's like that picture with Bill and Ange.
Who's Bill? Who's Ange? Right, okay. So today your half-time quiz is actually Celtic Tenable, so you're playing together, so you can take back your
Not much your face off.
you might reverse the face off, like kind of go.
Fuck off.
Okay, so, your Celtic Tenable today. With the League Cup final almost upon us, it's time to test your not. Do you know what, Ryan? You actually took part in this. Like, what is stopping you? Have you looked at the list?
No, I've not.
Right, okay. All three are now
I mean,
playing.
do you want to just do that and they two can do the final quiz then?
Ah, right, okay. Right, you just don't want to play the final quiz.
Just went up the road at this point, mate.
I've been up for 6:15 this morning.
Cam was like Slaven Bilic there. To be honest, I don't care.
Right, Celtic Tenable. With the League Cup final almost upon us, it's time to test your knowledge of Celtic's League Cup history versus their final opponents. Name the last 10 Celtic players to score a goal against Rangers in the League Cup.
Or just League Cup overall?
In the League Cup
Right.
overall. The last 10 Celtic players to score against Rangers in the League Cup. You can take it away, boys. Darno Day. Oh.
Because of how far back do we go?
That's what I'm testing.
Aye.
Darno Day's in there. Yes.
So, McGeady.
Jesus. Aidan McGeady.
Julian.
Correct.
Yeah,
God, just he's a fucking minute, please. Right. McGeady, yes. O'Day, yes. Julian was the other one you said.
Yes.
Of course, yes. So that's 3 out of 10 so far. So, aye.
Commons.
Correct.
Griffiths.
4. Griffiths. Yes,
game,
5.
Who scored against them when they got beaten in 2011? But
McGinley, you're having a fucking
That was.
stinker.
I'm just thinking. 2011. That was my first Celtic Rangers game.
Halfway there, boys. Halfway there.
Was it Ledley?
Ledley's won 6. There you go. Brilliant.
yeah. How far back does this go?
Goes quite far back, boys.
Because I mean, obviously you've got the League Cup final where John Hartson scored the
Oh,
one that got
offside
chopped
goal.
offside.
is that an answer?
If it's right, fucking
John
give it.
Hartson is right, so you're in 7. John Hartson's there.
That's he
Larson in
that
there,
scored
2004-5. Larson is in there. That's 8 out of 10. Now, Larson is the last on the list.
Right. Okay.
So that's how far back it goes.
So what year did you say that?
So when the furthest back is 2002-3.
2-3, right.
And then the most recent was Julian 1920, obviously. So you're doing okay. So just to give you a quick reminder that you can try and think your final 2. Christopher Julian, you got. Commons, you got. Griffiths, you got. Ledley, you got. McGeady, you got. O'Day, you got. Hartson, you got. Larson, you got. So there's 2 left.
So it's in between the 2009 and 2003.
Scott McDonald.
No. Scott McDonald's not one. Kieran, you asked a question about years.
Aye, if it's between the 2009 final.
I will give you a clue of the two left so we can get on to Twitter questions, right? Because one of them is 2005-06 and the other is 2016-17.
Oh,
Dembele. I forgot that
Oh,
was a League Cup.
there you go. Dembele,
so it was.
Double
the wee double nutmeg.
Aye.
Oh, aye.
So one more left, 2005-06, the quarterfinals of the League Cup.
Did you say 5-6?
5-6.
Is it Arski?
No. Anybody at the other side of the table? Everybody at home is screaming at you right now. I can just fucking feel it.
2005,
Yes.
Hesselink,
No.
Gravison.
No. Right, I'm just going.
What position?
Right
Striker?
mid.
Right
Was he
mid.
right mid for Celtic? I'm going to make an arse of myself
Paul
there.
Hartley? No, he'd never
No.
scored.
Right, yeah, I'm just giving you it.
Okay.
You meant me left mid. Sean Maloney.
Okay.
Sean Maloney. So there you go. So there was your full list. Christopher Jullien, Moussa Dembele, Chris Commons, Lee Griffiths, Joe Ledley, Aidan McGeady, Darren Day, Sean Maloney, John Hartson.
It was a free kick. Maloney's
Was it?
come up my Twitter the other day. Fuck off.
You could have fucking finished it off for this Callum, son.
He'd went wide.
Well done though, well done. You've got 9 out of 10, which is not a bad effort to
They're
say.
always brilliant for Kieran.
To say the least.
Yeah.
I know Kieran does a fantastic job. Well done, son. See you Sunday. And we've also got obviously a quiz to finish off the show tonight as well. Ryan, do you want to do the pleasure of reading out our Twitter questions
Happily,
this week?
happily.
Okay,
Just get them up
okay,
just
okay,
now.
okay. Until McGinley gets them up, what's the plans this evening, boys? Kieran?
Him and watch Drive to Survive.
It's back, isn't it? Wasn't watched the first episode. Any particular moment you're looking forward to seeing?
I mean,
Ferrari lose constantly.
Claire putting it in the wall.
I am stupid. Cam, what's your plan? Dinner?
Dinner and Drive to Survive.
I love how we're all going to hear me Drive to Survive. F1 season's nearly starting. Right, now it may as well ask you as well.
Thank you.
I'm joking.
I'm 3 seasons into my Celtic save on Football Manager. Jesper Lundstrom, what a player.
Right.
From Frankfurt.
For some reason I thought you said Jesper Lundstrom. I was like, I'm sorry. Seriously, guys.
See, that's the thing. Last night in the save, they said it's obviously not Peter Lowell or Mark Lowell or whoever in charge. They said the board had decided to give you an extra 37 million to spend.
It
So-
happens all the time.
So I've done the Google search.
Is it no? Every Celtic you get like seeing if this year's FM, you get like a 40 million in January. Like,
That's what I got.
Every fucking.
So, because I let Starfelt go to Olympiacos, he's 29 years old. I'm like, there's got to be a turnaround here.
The ruthless McGinley regime.
So I signed this
got
Brazilian
ring you at that.
Brazilian centre back for Benfica. I can't remember, is it Mercado or something like that? And Dane Scarlett from Spurs. So he's absolutely tearing it up. 16 finishing for a 20-year-old.
16 finishing.
See, I was going to watch The Last of Us, but I caught up in that last night. So
right,
probably watch something on the telly.
Oh, good for you, son. Right, let's get on to the Twitter questions then. Let's just get that out of the way and get up the road, because fuck me, I left to get yous at the back of 6 and it is now 8:45.
Wow.
I want
Right,
my
so
bed.
okay. Should I read the AJ Celtic one?
I don't know what it is, so. Hi, yes, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. we can't read that one.
Nah, I think we'll just direct you. If you want a good wee laugh, have a wee read at it.
And also shout out to AJ Celtic because new merch dropped it. Have you seen
Ah,
the
it's
new
quite
shirt?
smart.
It's
Oh,
nice.
quite like
It's
it.
nice. Get on AJ Celtic. Get buying some t-shirts. I would, lads, but I'm poor at the minute. So
I think we're all fucking poor.
we're all poor.
Joking to say this
So
question.
you know, let's just you know.
Stop hinting for a fucking freebie.
I was waiting for Lanny's to say. I was setting up the fucking joke. Right, okay. Next
Add the
one.
lad, I'm not reading that one out as well, but I
Let's
see you.
Let's see his. What's his? Oh my god.
See,
Give one of you bastards not ask a normal question.
I did. You see, when I did the second quote to it, I said, "Be as imaginative as possible," because that's what makes them.
right,
But
well.
to be fair, these ones were 2 hours ago, so they're not even encouraged. These ones. Kieran, who done the podcast, not the podcast. Well, he does do the podcast. He does do the questions. Straight to the point, no passing about. What's the cargo for the bus?
Orange Doug as always.
Oh, I can't believe you go for orange, dog of all
That's
colours.
the only flavour I like.
But it's orange.
A bit flavoured jiggle. I know you don't like it,
I
but if you had to pick one.
I'd pick red.
Would you?
Aye, Red. I'm a
Red's fucking disgusting.
I think Red's nice,
Nah.
but you know me, my cargo for the bus is the old faithful, Buckfast, the Abbey's finest. But I'm thinking about I might take a few beers for before the bus. Kieran.
Just you could have just left it. I'm going to take a few beers for the bus. Right.
Right, so there's your cargo for the bus question answered. Thank you, Kieran.
So Anthony asks, hoping it doesn't get to this point, but if it somehow goes to penalties, will it be a worry for Celtic, seeing as Joe Hart for us doesn't have a good record with penalties? Should be done within the 90, hopefully though.
Callum, we'll come to you first.
Obviously it should be a worry, but again that's sort of like the question we had last week, if it does go to penalties, who's your 5? So I think it does sort of come back to that, but obviously touch of the wind, we don't get anywhere near penalties.
Same kind of thoughts, Kieran.
I know, I really would pay. I would sell my soul to the devil to make sure there was no chances going to penalties, because fuck that. And if you're the devil watching, that was a joke.
Who's in charge?
Me or the devil? Come on, you can't.
Cal, always asking questions on this.
Didn't even get to answer the last question, you notice that?
Sorry mate.
It's fine. Cal.
On you go.
Nah, it's fine, I like your Cal's question.
Alright. Favourite Hampden memory?
Oh, well, Rogic.
Yeah, me too.
It's such a bold answer, isn't it, Rogic? It's like
Nothing compares.
I know, nothing compares. I mean, if you want to pick something that's not Rogic or Kieran, does anything come to mind?
Getting into the treble final with that ticket.
I used that TSF last night. It's one of my favourite Hampden memories. It wasn't even me stuck in it, but it's still a cool memory. Hey, Callum, you?
I think the Denberry double nutmeg, I think. Just because it's against it, but it's because of the finish.
Aye.
It was a really close game as well.
It was close. We should have probably had goals before that point, though.
On the scoreline, it was only one goal.
Also, it was the last derby that Derek Ray commentated.
He's up dead.
I know, for fuck's sake, the black armbands it there.
No, but like, it was the last derby that Derek Ray commentated because it was his last season of Scottish football.
Rest in peace, John Watson.
I know, it's tragic, isn't it? Poor John Watson. Brilliant commentator, a lot of respect. We paid tributes to him in TSF last night, so I'd point you over there to go and listen to some beautiful bits.
Hampden memory. That 20 minutes before Lennon got announced, you see the treble, utter euphoria. The best feeling, one of the best feelings. Edward dragged us through that final, absolutely. I mean, I know he gets stick for how it ended and that, but the moments that Edward gave us, incredible
talent. Just raw talent. Next question, Cal. Is this Cal? No, that was Cal.
That was Cal. Yeah. I don't think we can answer Matthew's one because I don't think you've got Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, fuck off, Harry Potter. No, my podcast. Move on. No Harry Potter questions ever.
No.
None of that shite on here.
I thought you were giving the TERFs some abuse there.
The who?
TERFs.
The fuck's that?
J.K. Rowling. That.
Don't bring up that fucking boot on this podcast.
What about those leaflets last week, man?
Oh, that is shocking, by the way.
I know.
And I hope that's sorted out. That and all these dance clubs begging for money. I actually don't mind getting a wee donation out here and there. But I mean, they've leaflets.
I've never seen Ryan once throw a penny into the buckets.
That's lies. That's lies. I'm always supporting the Irish Republican prisoners.
Contactless as well. One of
they've got contactless machines.
I don't know if I've ever told this story in the podcast, but when I went to Dublin, there was
I'm just saying it's a step too far, the contactless machines.
Oh, right. Sorry, what you saying?
When I was in Dublin, you know the guys in the toilets that have the lollipops and the aftershave and that. I had no change on me, I had no euros or whatever.
Don't
fucking contactless.
It's just even the tune.
I couldn't even look at him in the face.
I couldn't a tenner. I didn't mean it.
I
should have given my fires like, I put a fiver through, put 10. I was like, 10, I was scanning it. No free funds. I was like, what?
You played the game, mate, you lost.
I know, what were you saying?
I think I gave the cunt Muffy's a tenner and said, just sort me out the full night every time and he's like,
love that.
Right, okay, next question.
Dylan asks, do you see Ange leaving in the next 2-3 years?
Yes.
Or will he be a long servant to the club?
No, he'll be gone.
I think he will be on.
Sadly.
I think we can just enjoy it, we'll
enjoy it while it lasts.
Next Liverpool manager.
To expand the question, do you think he'll be going this time next year?
I can only hope not. I'd like to think. Well, I mean, if we do get in the Champions League again, he could have been maybe thinks it might have taken as far as he can go. That's the main fear, but hopefully that's not the case. But I don't think it's a as much as we won't want to hear it, it's probably not that unrealistic a possibility.
Understandable.
But that's all due to how good a job he's done.
Yeah.
So it's as long as the contingency plans are there, then that's the main thing. Not a question, says Sean, but Ryan, imagine the scenes for a Haxa last minute on Sunday.
I'd shit myself. I'd full on shit my pants.
Wow.
Just shit.
Dad, I've shit
everywhere.
my pants.
Mate, this is the second time you've done this.
I know you've
done
spoke
what?
about shitting your pants quite literally.
maybe somebody recently shit their pants. Jokes.
Food. Billy asks, food and drink of choice when it hits half time at Celtic Park. We could even extend that to Hampden. Do you have food at half time?
Last time I did, because I actually missed the first 10 minutes of the second half against Kelly, because I was a fat gutsy bastard. I was really in the mood for a bovril and a pie, and shout out to my pal Roshin, who actually purchased said pie and bovril for me. I didn't ask,
She's still not been paid back.
No, no, absolutely not. So pie and bovril, that's generic as fuck, but Kieran,
I mean,
chips and curries. But
chips and curry sauce at Celtic Park's decent. Changed the chips this season, but still eatable.
So, I think they're alright. Calm, you go. We don't obviously sit together. So
Just pie and a juice.
I just
Aye.
yeah,
We Fanta.
Fanta.
I think this is a quick one. Who in the current Celtic squad will go on to have the best career? For me, Hatate, says Aryan.
I'm going to stick with my gut feeling of Jota.
Jota.
You going Jota as well?
Aye.
I think just the flair of Jota. I think that's probably my answer.
I'll agree with the question person.
You going Hatate?
Yeah.
What about Joe Hart?
He's been at Highway.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Is that us?
so, no, that's loads.
Oh, it's a tons of day. Go on.
Which player from each of these Celtic teams, Steen, O'Neill, Strachan, Lennon, Rodgers, would you take to add to the current team for the final? So you could do one for each.
Right, so for each manager? I've got to hear all day.
No, I know, but one
Fuck
person.
One
One person
manager's-
does them up for one person.
I'm not
You
going
need
through
to-
and fucking saying seven
Seven
players. That's
players,
not. I'm sorry.
No,
whoever
so
that's
I'll give you
not.
Steen. I'll give you Steen, O'Neill,
Alright, okay, so I'm getting Steen.
Steen, O'Neill, Strachan,
Right.
Lennon, Rodgers.
Good.
So you're Steen.
Right, I'm Steen. Hello, I'm John Steen.
Camden Ronald Williams.
Jimmy Johnson, obviously. Jimmy Johnson.
So I had O'Neill. Larson.
Larson.
Has to be that.
Boric.
So I've got
shout.
Lennon,
Take Lennon.
Van Dijk,
Van Dijk. Wow.
Good
Rodgers.
shout.
Roger. Oh, I'm what you wrote Dembele.
Be unreal on this team, isn't it?
So basically, what we've got just now is Dembele and Larson playing up front, and we've got Jimmy Johnson on the right wing.
Boric
and goals.
Boric and goals.
And Van Dijk at the back.
centre back.
Unbeatable.
So right now we've got Jota on the left, Hatate McGregor in the middle.
So it's a 4-2-4.
Vickers 4-4-2. Aye, 4-4-2.
If you want to chuck Jota up front.
Ah, well, I
Aye,
suppose.
you're playing them as wingers.
Aye, I
Yeah.
suppose you could. Aye. So we could go 4-2-4. So we'd have Boric in goals, and then a right back would be Johnston. Then it would be Van Dijk, Cammy Carter Vickers, Greg Taylor, Cal McGregor, Rio Hatate, Johnston, Dembele, Larson, Jota. What a bloody team, eh? That's a unit. KT's not even there, man. I could have picked him, but listen, every day.
Top. Caden says top 3 most anticipated movies of the year.
Wonka.
Oppenheimer.
I was going to say Oppenheimer.
I think. Aye.
I'm kind of scared that flops just because it's got such a star-studded cast.
Unbelievable
The,
cast.
the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah,
Comes out in the same day as Oppenheimer, doesn't
What
it?
one we got to see first? That's the question.
Watching both simultaneously.
Dave King could watch both.
Derby Diggs, hey. In all seriousness, because I've been in my movie kick, I'll give you the 3 I'm most
How many
likely
movies
for.
this year? 24, is it? You're in?
Who gives a fuck?
It's quite rude.
Did you see that picture of the? You know how it's got your screen
Nah, fuck
activity. You know it tracks your screen
Aye,
activity.
somebody was on Letterboxd for like
9
10 hours.
hours.
What's that about?
How do you even do that?
I don't know. I literally do not know. I'm on it for seconds a day. Like, but if I was to pick 3, Mario, Wonka, and something else. There you go.
I don't even know what Disney movies are out this year.
Oh fuck it, who cares? Right, anyway.
I've got total Marvel fatigue, so I'm not even going to see any of those movies.
Aye, bugger that. Right, next question.
Hamden gets a lot of hate rightfully in my opinion. If you could change the National Stadium, would you? And could Murrayfield be in for a shout?
I think the simpler question to ask here is, would you prefer Murrayfield to Hampden?
Absolutely.
Yes.
They're not going to rebuild Hampden anytime soon. But I enjoyed the game at Murrayfield against Hearts. But
Aye.
It was great.
you'd be lying if you were only saying you were far away from the pitch as well. But I mean, we were in the top tier. I thought we had a pretty good view.
Aye, I liked it.
So I was in top tier as well. Also like the journey that you take going there.
I like a day out.
It feels like maybe a day out if it was through in Edinburgh or something. Because like, with 10-15 minutes on the supporters bus, it just doesn't feel like anything.
And in order to get there, the transport, it's more catered to the crowd as well, because you can actually just get off.
Yeah.
It's a 5-minute walk to the stadium. Absolutely brilliant.
Aye.
Plus it's in the capital. Cup finals in the capital. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. I
Um,
think we've pretty much answered that.
Who would win in a fight, Calmac or Tav?
Cam McGregor.
Kelmac.
It's a spring boy as well.
Aye.
Easter is technically.
That's a Hall of Fame you're talking about in Tavernier.
Oh, aye, of course. The Hall of Famer.
Start padder. Jota17 asks, when will be the right time to bring a Yeti back into the team?
Does a Yeti get back in, Cam?
Aye. Ellen Kyogo. 100%.
Oh, aye, easy question.
That was his goals
We'll
against
come good.
Betis.
We'll always have Betis. Yeah, that run before he got injured against Hibs in the COVID season. We were on to something.
I know, we were.
What was he cooking? Rank these from best to worst. Fruit shoot, Ribena, Capri Sun.
Oh, that's a good question, by the way. Fruit shoot,
too healthy for my
Ribena,
liking.
Capri Sun. Oh, God.
Capri Sun, Ribena, fruit
Oh,
shoot.
I've just, sorry, I got a black screen there. I switched to the non-existent camera number 3. Kieran, what were you saying?
Capri Sun, Ribena, fruit shoot.
Oh, right. Well, I'm going to go different because I'm going to go fruit shoot, Capri Sun, Ribena.
You're a child, man.
What would you like, a fruit shoot?
You like a fruit shoot. You might see the Mario and Wonka films ahead of any other film this year.
And you're going to me? Because I still
You
watch.
shit yourself.
So we have went quite opposite. We've both got the same middle one, but we've flipped right. So Callum, you're the older side, doesn't it? Because it's too healthy for him, obviously.
Capri Sun, fruit shoot, Ribena.
You're closer to me than you are to
Can't
Keir.
go with
Aye, get up, Keir.
I'm the biggest fan.
Right, next question. What's your favourite flavours though? Like of
Fucking hell.
of like fruit.
No, there used to be like a sort of orange Ribena you could get in Tesco. I used to always get it in the meal deal. I don't know what.
Oh,
Was it
that
like
was
the
actually
passion fruit
nice.
Mango and lime, I think it was. Or something.
Ah, right, aye. Right, Kieran, Ryan, fire through the last few ones. Let's do this.
No bother. Would you ever consider pitch invading and breaking Sakala's leg, Ryan?
Is it me?
Could be either one. He didn't specify. This is from CCV's football boots.
Probably not. I don't want a lifetime ban, but
No, absolutely.
Aye.
Not.
Do you think you'd miss like the way that kid ran on to try and get Mbappe?
Look at that. Obviously, I'd miss. Right, next one.
Fitba Man asks, serious question, do any of you boys actually get women?
Zero bitches in this podcast.
No maidens.
No, that sentence alone says all, doesn't it, really? I want words.
That one had a wee bit close to home, mine.
Start singing like Mel. Right,
The Celtic, that's good enough for us.
So sad, man.
My question is Ryan 118 going to apologise for his racist
Oh,
comment for
Jesus.
Tati
Phil.
from Phil Smith.
what were the comments? What, I want to know that. I really do want to know that.
I don't even know.
But see, I've came to the conclusion Phil is now being carried on by someone else in honour of him.
See, to be fair, right, but I went through, like, I seen him a tweet yesterday and I clicked on his profile and
I done it as well.
no, but it was like consistent retweets of like weird shit, and I was
Commitment to the gimmick, mate.
like, I know, but everyone of you is really that fucking sad out there. Like,
If it is really you, Phil, then I was going to say something nasty, but I can't be arsed with him. Like,
See it at Hampden.
do you want to say that again with the camera on?
Somebody's
this time?
got
See it at Hampden.
favourite ball day at Celtic.
It's between Maeda, isn't it?
I'd say Maeda because he chooses it to be that way. He's got the choice of hair or no hair.
I'm baldy. I'm baldy, so can I pick myself? Look at that. Gone.
Don't tell me.
My die.
think that's us.
Is that us?
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for the questions. I'm going to get the quiz up just to finish off the
Forgot what's in the quiz. I forgot about that too.
We're through in seconds. Just on that note, I'm going to turn to the Kieran old monologue. Kieran, monologue us out.
Monologue is it? Alright. Why would you do this to me?
You've been choking to, like, you've been in a group chat giving it stinking to Rangers.
I just think that they've been running on this quite a bit this past week. I think they're all fucking freaks that are right into their three-piece suits more than the actual football in the park. You've seen them fucking going about that for a very long time. And I hope we absolutely annihilate the cunts, because fucking just... No.
Tell us how you really feel, Kieran.
If this wasn't a podcast, I'm sure Kieran Old would be it's more ruthless than he actually just was. But thank you, Kieran.
I see him saying that as he touched on suits. I'm not touched on Starfelt, we suit yet. All's your heart.
That's class. It's all about standards. It's
all about style, class, and just shoots and candies and shops and bags that wearing their tracksuits. Right, it's time for the full-time quiz. It's time for the full-time quiz. Have you ever watched Jails TV?
I was going to say, have you ever seen that Rangers radio that cunt's on?
Yeah.
No, that is Jails TV. They're all sitting there on the couch. They just pulp some woman off a fucking street.
They've got one more woman than us, to be fair.
I'm going to start going, the Rangers TV get any woman.
Right, okay, let's finish off with a quiz, ladies and gents. It's Kieran Old versus Ryan McGinley to take us up the road. And as I said, Kieran's obviously kind of spiced these quizzes up a bit. You weren't here last week, but he's brought in questions on world football, fucking English football. So, but this week, the theme for this week's quiz has been chosen, and you'll be happy to know, it's Scottish League Cup history, and will be split into 5 sections. The 5 sections being Celtic, Glasgow Derby, finals, players, stadiums. Okay. So there's your 5. Kieran, heads or tails again?
Tails.
Tails this time. Tails never fails, or does it this time? Heads. Ryan McGinley, player A or player B?
Go first.
You're going first. Right, here we go. Callum Craig, if he doesn't know the answer, I'll give you the first shot to answer. How many Scottish League Cups have Celtic won in their history?
Do you know, I've been looking at the graphic too and I've completely forgot. Is it 21?
No, Callum.
20?
It is 20.
At the bar.
You've hit the bar. He's down 1-0. Well, he's not down 1-0.
Sorry, I was including this weekend. Does that count?
I like it.
Good, quite good. Right, Kieran, your first question. Rangers are the team Celtic have encountered the most in League Cup finals, 15 times. How many of these finals have Celtic won out of 15?
8.
No. Incorrect. Unlucky. Cal?
6.
Correct. Cal's on fire so far. Well done, Cal. It's still 0-0 between the two key players, though. Ryan McGinley, question number 2. According to BBC statistics, how many shots did Celtic have in the 2019 League Cup final against Rangers? Shots both on and off target.
7.
No. Unlucky, Ryan. Unlucky. You've not had a great one here. Callum.
4.
Off the bar, off the post, off the woodwork. 5 was the correct
This
answer.
quiz has gone to penalties, man.
Did you see the quiz last week?
Oh, Jesus. Right, Kieran, your question number 2 to go up 1-0. Celtic last played Rangers in the League Cup final in 2019 when we won 1-0 thanks to a Chris Julian goal. Who assisted it?
Christie.
Correct. Well done, Ryan Christie. As the answer 1-0 to Kieran. Ryan, you the equaliser here. Before the COVID season of 2020-21, who were the last 2 teams to contest the Scottish League Cup final that were not Celtic or Rangers? So the last League Cup final with neither side.
League Cup final. So not including Celtic or Rangers, just like a non-Celtic Rangers, that right? Was it Aberdeen, Ross County?
You got one of the teams right. Ross County and someone else is the other side of the table, know it? Ross County 2, Hibs 1, 2015-16. Unlucky, Ryan. So you've still got a bit of chasing to do. Kieran, you could cushion yourself here with a 2-0 lead. Aberdeen beat Inverness on penalties in the 2014 Scottish League Cup final at Celtic Park. What was the score in the shootout?
3-1.
No. Cal?
5-4.
4-2 is the correct answer. So still only 1-0.
This is a
Ryan,
shocker,
you need
man.
this
I know,
equaliser,
I know.
son. You need this
Can you
equaliser.
give me a good question?
How many players from the 2019... You're right, sir.
It's just.
How many players...
I need a word.
How many players from the 2019 Scottish League Cup final are still on Celtic's books?
Starters or subs?
How many are on the books?
2019.
Yes. Clock is ticking.
Is this for the starting lineup for back then?
Just from
The
the
match day squad, is it?
Just from the match day squad.
Cal McGregor. 3.
Yes.
Greg Taylor as well. Greg,
No.
Mikey Johnson.
Mikey Johnson, aye.
He's still on the books at Celtic.
Take it.
So you still got it. But
I was just about to say 2 because I've
There you
never
go.
seen that graphic.
Cal McGregor, James Forrest, and
Mikey Johnson.
Mikey Johnston.
Who was Greg Taylor?
Greg Taylor must have not been
Johnny
on the
Hayes
squad
played
that
that
day.
day.
Left back, aye.
Was he injured?
Or something? No, I don't know. Go and ask him.
Was Taylor really getting
Was
that
it a bit
much
sarky?
look in back then?
Aye, because it was January when he started getting a wee bit early in. Partick Thistle, mind that game he played and had a good game.
Because we watched Ball and Goal against Rangers. And we were
Yes,
like,
that's
there's
right.
got to be better here.
Right, Kieran, to take your lead back, name one of Celtic's top goal scorers in the 2022-23 league campaign. There is 3 players you can pick from
Might have to just pick Celtic's top goal scorer.
in the League Cup this season.
Oh, right, in the League Cup.
There's 3 options.
Try to even think who the fuck we've played in the League Cup. Yakimakis.
Yes.
Yep.
Because he scored at Ross County, he scored against Kerry, and
That's it, 2 goals.
2 goals. aye.
You could have picked Dyson Maida, George
Labada.
Yakimakis, and Leah Labada. Well done, son. Well done. Right, so Ryan, you need to get this right.
Okay.
Name the last stadium to host a Scottish League Cup semi-final outside of Glasgow.
League Cup semi. Outside. Murrayfield?
Yes, we just
Yeah.
spoke of that.
I thought it was a
I know, I was
trick.
thinking
I was
about it.
I was trying to rack my brain. So like, when has it been played at Victoria or
Murrayfield
Easter
and
Road?
it's
Thank that was my question. I went blank on it. I didn't even talk about Murrayfield, man.
Right, so Murrayfield's the correct answer. Kieran, to win the quiz, or if you miss, we go to penalties. In its entire 77-year history, the League Cup final has played its finals between Hampden Park, Celtic Park, Ibrox, and which other stadium? Its finals. That's a good question.
I don't fucking know.
I'll get a guess if you don't know, son.
I don't know. Pataudry.
Wrong. Cam, do you know?
Paradise.
Nearly.
Tynecastle.
No. Dens Park.
Wow.
Dens Park. 1979 replay with Dundee United.
I remember
And
it well.
Aberdeen played there as well as the 1980 final with Dundee and Dundee United. So there you go. We're placed to have a final.
I know.
Right, so it's a tiebreaker question. Fuck me, it's a long one today. Man, I've been here all night.
The cameras both working still.
I think so. We better actually hurry in case one does conk out. So, tiebreaker question, and it's going to be whoever gets the closest, including replays, but excluding penalties. How many goals have Celtic scored in League Cup finals? Ryan McGinley.
So how many did we win?
You're not going to go through every League Cup final ever here, are you?
Oh, it's League Cup finals, right?
Yes. How many goals have we scored in combined in League Cup finals?
Okay. 52.
52. Kieran Old.
70.
Oh my god! It's actually 70 by the way! What a fucking answer! What a fucking answer, man!
I was going to say 75. I was like, no, he said lower. Okay, I can go a wee bit lower.
Fuck, man! Have you seen that before we hit on
Nah,
you?
I shit, you know. I was just doing some maths in my head if I've won it 20 times and probably played in empty
If Kieran has done his if Kieran has done his maths right, 70 goals is exactly on the button the correct answer. Kieran, you can take next week off, mate.
Thank fuck, man.
Brilliant, well done, lads. Kieran Ald is the winner this week, and that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you all very much for listening this morning as this podcast goes live. You've got all day to listen to it in preparation for that cup final tomorrow. And then obviously we'll probably be back at some point during the week. Probably still hungover. to be honest.
I think it all depends on the result, really, how quickly we get back.
True. So I'll go around the table. Kieran, closing words.
Just get into them on Sunday.
Nice.
Right for the fucking start.
Yes, thanks for joining. Callum.
As Kieran said earlier, beat the bastards.
Nice, thank you, Callum. Right.
Come on, Celtic, do it for John Watson.
I love that. It's a nice way to go off, and I'll go for kill them. No, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you all next time.